Taking time and energy to deeply listen to a student is a powerful way of supporting them and their mental well-being. Listening well requires patience, concentration, and deep emotional energy. Think of it as one of your superpowers. And although we do it multiple times a day, we may not be doing it in a way that effectively shows we care. This microtraining video is designed to help you hone the effectiveness of your listening skills. Our goal is to help you enhance and employ your listening strategically with student well-being in mind. There are multiple reasons to engage in high-quality, intentional listening. Listening is one of the most practical ways of showing someone you care about them. Listening to their experiences, how they're feeling, what they're thinking, and what they need shows that you care about their worries and that you trust them as experts on their own life. Listening requires suspending your own perspective for a moment to truly understand the perspective of that person. It also requires dampening our thought process, such as thinking about what we'll say next, where we need to be in an hour, or the task we were just working on. When we listen, we're also providing the space for a person to think out loud, reflect, and even work through the problems on their own.
I just have a lot of assignments coming up this month, and I've just been struggling to fit it all into my schedule. Plus, things are super busy at work. I just feel like I'm super overwhelmed and I don't know how to fit it all into my schedule. I'm already feeling behind. But you know what? I really think I need to be proactive here. I should probably, sit down and plan out the rest of my week, figure out when all my due dates are. It might also be helpful to block off some time on my calendar maybe and just, for my homework assignments, and that way it won't overlap with my work schedule.
The perception that someone is listening via email allows the same opportunity for the writer to express, reflect on, and perhaps resolve some of their experiences, feelings, and concerns through this medium. There are several things to keep in mind to listen effectively and strategically. Listening is an internal act that is conveyed, when in person, through external attending. Attending is physically and psychologically focusing on someone. It is what shows that you are listening. If you're conversing in person or via video, your body language and facial expressions convey as much, if not more, than words. So compose your body and face to show you're paying good attention to the person and what they are expressing. Some strategies to show you're attending are to turn your body to face the person or the screen, put down your devices or minimize other windows, and/or nod your head or make sounds that indicate you're paying attention, like, It's important to recognize that the meaning of direct eye contact varies across cultures. The best plan is to adapt your eye contact and posture in reaction to how the student is responding to you in the moment. If we find ourselves distracted or with a wandering mind, we're not able to absorb and process what we're hearing. It takes great concentration to stay in the moment, fully present and attentive to what is being said, but that is what makes listening so powerful. Restating or reflecting back to the student what you've heard from them can be a helpful way of confirming your understanding, as well as demonstrating that you were listening. In particular, noting the feelings they're expressing or implying will show you're listening at a deep level.
I hear you saying you've been feeling really stressed lately and not motivated to get any of your work done, but you're also feeling worried about falling behind. Is that correct?
Yes, that's exactly what I've been struggling with.
We can intersperse our listening with statements of compassion in order to convey care. This may be one of the most impactful things you do in listening to someone. Depending on the specifics of what they have said, a statement like one of the following can be powerful.
I'm sorry things have been so hard for you. It seems life has been really difficult lately. That sounds really hard to cope with.
Listening is how we collect information. It's how we understand the experiences and needs of the person. We may be able to better understand their level of distress, their level of self-awareness, and their interest, or lack thereof, in resources. We must listen for their message and their meaning, not just their words. Asking a few strategic questions during the conversation can help clarify and ensure we're understanding accurately. But ask as little as necessary so as to avoid dominating the conversation.
I noticed your post online said you've been having a difficult time lately. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm just a little stressed, but everything's fine.
Well, how are the rest of your classes going? There's a lot of resources on campus that can help with stress management. I'd like to help get you connected to one of those.
Many of our interactions with students are through email. You can still show your listening and care. You can guide the conversation topic to wellness by asking questions such as,
How have things been for you lately? What kind of support do you think you need? What would help you take good care of yourself?
and you can convey care by showing you're prioritizing their message by asking thoughtful questions to collect information and by responding with compassion. A sample string of emails might be, how you respond after deep listening is dependent on the specifics. But responding to the person with cliches, what's meant to be is meant to be, or everything happens for a reason, by devaluing their concerns, other students have bigger problems, or by making reassurances, I'm sure this will pass and you'll feel better next week, are all responses that should be avoided as they dismiss the person's experience. A student may sometimes share more than you can respond to. Either the content is overwhelming or they simply share so much it's impossible to respond to it all. In these moments, remember that it isn't feasible to attend to every detail, nor is it your role to find solutions to their problems. It's often most appropriate to show concern and compassion, gently set a boundary around your role, and redirect them to the most relevant resources.
Thank you for sharing this with me. I'm concerned about you. I'd like to get you connected with a professional on campus that specializes in your concern. Let's go ahead and look up their contact information together.
Listening is so powerful that after being heard at a deep level, the person may not need anything further from you. Other times, the person may need a referral to supportive resources. You can watch the Making Effective Referrals video for guidance on that. While you may be tempted to switch into problem-solving mode, that's often beyond the scope of your role, and it may not actually be the most helpful thing for the student. Our hope is that students will feel empowered to solve their own problems and recognize their agency in making changes. For those times when there is a crisis, a situation that involves a threat to the immediate health, safety, or well-being of a member of the community, additional action on your part may be needed. Guidance for those situations is beyond the scope of this microtraining. So remember, attending carefully, giving space to talk through concerns, responding compassionately, and referring to relevant sources of support are skills you can use to effectively support student mental health and wellness. Listening doesn't address serious mental illness, but for those students in mild or moderate emotional distress, it can positively impact their wellness. Thank you for your compassion for University of Minnesota students. Taking time and energy to listen to a student is a very powerful, though subtle skill to show you care and support their mental health and wellness. We appreciate you taking the time to build your listening skills.